think it's too dark in here. Maybe the screen is just dark. Oh, he looks bright though.
Well, hello everybody over there in the world of Twitch. I'm Carlos A.S. Lysing. Welcome to the first Betrayal campaign. We're doing a special tonight, so I can catch up two of my players on their solos. Over there in the middle of the screen, you'll note, well, on the wings over there, you'll notice that Tahoe and Matthew Lazinski, Ariane and Brixton are not here tonight. So we're actually going to have Jeremy and Patrick tonight, Rainmar and Agrias. Gentlemen, how you doing this evening?
We are doing it up, bro.
Yeah. Right on, right on. Before we get started tonight, last night we had a really interesting conversation after we went offline that I want to kind of share with everybody out there that's watching us this evening. It's a little bit about first edition rules when it comes to advancement. After every session, I give experience points out to the group and through session notes. And one of the players in particular that I gave experience to was Matthew's character, Brixton. Brixton reached second level. So we had to start discussing about how experience works and advancement works in first edition, and in particular in this campaign. And it became kind of clear to me that I think a lot of DMs do it differently, so I wanted to explain about how I did it, and I wanted to maybe clear up some questions over there from my players about if they had anything that they wanted to talk about it that was unresolved from last night's conversation. The way it works is this. Every class has a different threshold at which they reach a different level. This is player's handbook stuff. Everybody knows that, okay? For example, your fighter reaches second level at 2,000 experience points. Your thief reaches at 1,500, for example. Now, that can be adjusted by the fact that if you have very high scores, attributes, like, for example, if a thief has a very high dexterity, he'll get a multiplier bonus for that experience points. So eventually what will happen is you reach that threshold to get to second level if you live that long. Well, once you get there, you have to go through the whole process of actually gaining your level. And what that entails is you do not actually gain any more experience. You're capped at the level you reach until you do two things, or three things really. Number one, you have to find a trainer. You have to find a trainer that will be able to teach you the next level. Now, in normal game terms, the trainer only has to be one level higher than you, but for a Castle Entertainment house rule, we actually do 2 levels. And that being is I need your teacher to have significantly more mastery than you. You just can't have somebody that's marginally better than you train you. So the second level the 2 level kind of absorbs that a little bit. The second thing you need to do is you need to be able to pay your trainer. Now that trainer, the cost of training at first level is only 1,500 experience gold pieces. However, as you go up, it escalates. Okay, so that reflects the fact that you need more and more specialized training from more and more difficult to find and more accomplished trainers. They can command that kind of money. And the third thing you need is time. And at first level, it's 1 week. Second, to go to second level. At second level, to go to third, it's 2 weeks. Etc., etc. So, what I was trying to explain to the guys yesterday is that a lot of players don't like to do this, and a lot of DMs don't like to do this. They just say, magically, when you reach that experience point threshold, being your second level, being your third level, whatever.
Right.
Right. I don't really do it quite like that. The reason I don't do it like that is because I think that that's missed gold mine opportunity for role-playing and for advancing the story through finding the trainer, through getting the gold pieces, through doing all these things. Example, Patrick's character, as we discussed the other day, for those of you who watched us, is a little bit of an esoteric character in that he's a fighter magic user. However, he belongs to a special order of swordsmen that uses a special, very rare martial art. His ability to find trainers is going to be difficult to do that, to teach him the different arts he needs. Whereas Jeremy's character, who's a basic fighter right now, should be able to find a guy who's 2 levels of fighter higher than him relatively easily. But what Matthew found out yesterday is that because he's a little bit esoteric as an illusionist, that class isn't very common. Finding that illusionist character may be a little bit troublesome. So that's what we do as far as experience points go and level gain goes. But there's one more little rub to it. In first edition, um, when you gain gold and you gain magic items, you get experience for that. Not all DMs necessarily do that, and people don't do it really kind of in an even way. But I use the strict DMG Unearthed Arcana rules for example, if you find a Cloak of Displacement that earns you 5,000 experience points, as soon as that item is identified positively and you found it, you get those 5,000 experience. However, if it would take you over the next level, you stop at that 1 point higher than you need to be at the next level. So you can't like gain 4 levels just by finding a really rare magic item. So that's pretty much how we do it. Was that clear to you guys in the discussion yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, clear-ish.
Yeah, okay.
You know?
I,
Yeah.
I think it's one of
Enough
those
more.
things that as you touch and feel it in the game, you'll start to be a little more. You'll understand it a little bit better as we go forward because you'll be living it to some degree. This particular session tonight, you guys will have the opportunity. You're both relatively close to second level. I won't tell you how close, but you're relatively close. And I think if you guys have your cards right, you may very well be able to peek over that threshold. So you'll get a chance to see it up close and personal very soon.
Mm. So the idea is to keep the leveling process as part of the role playing.
Absolutely, because to isolate it from there, if you were doing it just like a lot of DMs do, and you say, "Hey, we're just going to make this a automatic thing. You get to the next level." It cuts out a lot of opportunity, and it cuts out a lot of the need for gold. For example, when Gary created the game, one of the things about him that was really genius is the way that certain things were balanced. Okay, a lot of players look at the gold piece gains in modules, in published modules, and you're like, wow, man, you get a lot of gold out of these things. And yeah, it does seem like that. And I'm sure to you guys, it seemed like, wow, we're getting a lot of money hand over fist here as we progress. Sure. But the truth is that I was giving you guys a lot of gold, knowing that you guys were all going to, out of 4 people, you're probably going to have to kick up about 6,000 gold pieces to everybody get to be second level here pretty soon.
Sure.
So, and obviously you're nowhere near that. So you're really not as gold rich as you might have thought you were. So it's just little things that you need to keep in mind. And also keep this in mind though too. That gold piece value that I said that you need to spend money to get training. Let's say you found a magical sword. Okay, which your party is pretty sure that the sword that Brixton found is magical. You don't know what it does yet because no one's identified it, but you're pretty sure it is magical. You may be able to give that to your trainer and say, hey, look, in return for my training, would you like this? So there's also that in play too. So keep that in mind that it's not just a strict, hey, I got to have this much in gold, period. You could also do favors. You could do a lot of different stuff. As long as you can convince your trainer that it's worth 1,500 gold pieces, there you go.
Got it. Okay.
All right? Okay, guys. Well, the last time we left our intrepid heroes, you guys were in a very interesting situation. The rest of the party had gone south along the coastline and inland to investigate the potential haunted city, where they had heard that there were water-based magical items hidden. Whereas you two had stuck around. Jeremy was in deep dialogue with the Nereid Shawl's captain.
Really deep.
Really deep. And Agrias, in the meantime, had overseen the building of defenses and of the camp for the Prokanzai group. Well, as that progressed, Agrias was called to discover that he and Rainmar had both had the idea, let's dig a trench around the palisade fence that we're building. Well, the digging of the trench unearthed the fact that there was a tunnel underneath the Prokanzai settlement, much like the one that Brixton had discovered. before that half of the party got ghosted in. Well, in the meantime, Raymar had come out of the Narod Shawl, and he and Agrias, along with Elin and Herrick and Lily, had all, which is one of Brixton's apprentices, had gone down into this hole to discover what is actually in this tunnel. Now, the discussion at this point, gentlemen, was you guys were talking about blockading it with wood. Am I correct when I say that?
Blockading which?
That's what I was going to get at. Exactly, Agrias, how do you want to handle this?
So since Rangmar, Elin, and Herrick have gone down the south corridor, I'm going to blockade the north.
Okay.
I'm going to have Lily run up and bring down 9 laborers to start packing that in.
Okay. You guys start the process of getting people down there and getting the laborers to do all this stuff. Rainmar, in the meantime, what are you going to do? You're kind of in the middle between them until you make a... tell me exactly where you want to go.
What kind of lighting do we have ahead of us?
Right now, the lighting consists of Elin with a torch and Herrick with a torch on one end. You and Agrias both have infravision as demi-humans. So you're at the north end of it right now, kind of. So does Lily, by the way. All three of you guys were at, or I should say Lily and Agrias were at the north end of things, kind of just looking down the hallway, making sure nothing was coming down there at this point. So they really don't need a light source per se right now.
So what do I see ahead of me? How
are you looking to the north, or are you looking to the south?
He's in the north, right?
Yes.
I'm looking to the south.
Okay, what you see is you see receding torchlight going down the hallway. You hear Elin and Herrick talking to one another. They're just kind of muttering. It's hard to tell what they're saying exactly to one another because they're for their distance right now. Although one of them yells back at one point, Herrick says, "How far do you want me to go down here, boss, before I start setting up something?"
Every chance you get, you can set a trap.
All right. Hey, you know, I don't know if you know, I kind of, did you know about this ladder down here?
What ladder?
There's a hole in the floor and there's a ladder going down.
I did not.
You want to see it?
Sure.
All right, hold up for a second. Let me get down there. I need to show you where I put the traps.
Okay.
He comes back through, and Rainmar, he says, you coming through for this?
Sure.
All right. Lily says, looks at you, Agrias. She goes, I'll stand guard here and watch the north. I'll scream if I see anything.
Okay. So to be clear, we came down in the tunnel.
Yep.
We started south and found another tunnel down.
That's what Herrick says he's seeing. So Herrick leads you guys both down the tunnel. He circumvents a couple traps that he set. They're both tripwire traps, and the tripwire trap is set to throw up an iron spike in both places. So he takes you down the hallway, and true to his word, in the middle of the hallway, there is like a 10 by 10 section of the floor cut out. There are 2 slats of wood, planks of wood that have been laid out on the side of it so people can walk over the sides of it. And right down the middle, there's a ladder leading down. Herrick's looking down. He says, here's the ladder I found. Elin looks over at you and says, while you guys were waiting to come over here, there's something I noticed here. This wood doesn't have any dust on it. There's foot traffic that comes up and down here all the time.
And what can we see in the bottom down the ladder?
Down the ladder, you don't see anything, but you smell moisture.
Moisture.
Yeah, like salt water.
Okay. Is there Do I see anything on the ladder itself? What's the ladder made out of?
The ladder is made out of wood. It looks very old. Make me a 6-sider, please.
3.
Agrias, what'd you get?
2.
Okay. Agrias, as you're looking at Raymar, you don't really notice anything, but Agrias, as you look down on it, you notice a big hunk of skin that's been stuck on the inside of it that's rotted away.
Okay. Let's destroy that ladder.
Okay, Herrick says. You want me to board up the whole floor here?
Yeah, sure. To destroy the ladder however you can and then board over it.
He says, okay. There's one thing you may want to remember. He goes, our boys up there need a lot of this wood. He goes, we really haven't had a chance to do too much logging. Does this take precedence over the palisade?
Do you see any other way people could climb up through this hole besides the ladder?
Not really, no, but we haven't really gone too far either.
All right, let's just destroy the ladder then.
Got it. He goes over there with his axe and starts hacking at the ladder, pushes it down at the bottom. As he pushes the ladder downwards, you know, he cuts off the top of it so it's free. He pushes it down, and you hear it splash when it hits the water. He kind of looks up at you.
Interesting.
Shrugs his shoulders a little bit. Goes, all right, boss. No ladder.
No ladder. Are we going to continue south? Yeah. I'd say another 500 feet, and if we find
Agrias, you feel something tugging at the back of your cloak.
Okay, I turn around.
It's Lily. She goes, Agrias, I heard something down at the other direction.
All right, let's go back.
Okay. Herrick says, you want me to stand guard? You want Lynn to stand guard? What do you want me to do?
I want you guys to go with Raymar.
All right. You go with Ray. They both look at Raymar. Raymar, where are you going?
I'm going to the south.
You're going to go down the slats then and continue past the hole, is what you're doing?
Can I jump it?
Yeah, you could jump it, but it's a long jump. It's 10 feet. It's easier to walk the slats.
I'm going to test the slats first.
The slats feel real solid.
For weight bearing?
Yeah.
Nothing on the surface of the slats?
No, nothing on the surface.
And underneath, are they affixed to the floor at all?
No, they're not. They move freely. Herrick looks up at you. He goes, just so you know, I'm trapping this right one. Take the left one all the time.
Well, I'm going to take the left one once we've all crossed.
Right. Oh, you're going to take the whole thing?
Correct.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's even better, he says.
So that there's only a trapped way to cross.
Okay. So what Herrick does is he starts to perforate the middle of the right one. He goes, anybody heavier than 50 pounds on this thing's going right through.
That's fine. Make sure Agrias knows.
He nods. He says, he goes, hey, Lynn, why don't you go back up there and tell Agrias what's going on? She nods. Meanwhile, Agrias, you're up at the other end with Lily. True to her word, down the way, some distance, it's hard to tell how far, it's echoes down the hallway, you hear something kind of splashing in the water. Very kind of like a shuffling kind of sound.
Okay.
Lily just kind of looks up at you in the darkness.
What's that?
Lily just kind of looks up at you in the darkness, doesn't say anything, like almost wondering, like, what should we do?
Okay, how long until the laborers come down to block off that northern
Probably only a few minutes.
Okay. I'm going to draw my bow in case something comes out of the
Okay, you draw your bow. Lily pulls out her sword.
Okay. That's adorable. Oh, can I give her like a crash course of a kata to practice?
You can give her a crash course. Tell me how you want to give her a crash course.
I'm gonna.
Lily looks up at you.
I'm gonna show her basic cuts like horizontal, uppercut, overhand.
She's trying to explain it. She's trying to do it. Oh my god. Actually, she's absorbing it really well. She's absorbing it really well. You remember all your when you were just getting old enough, to carry your own sword and be in the monastery, and you're remembering some of the early lessons you had, and there's certain things that she needs to work on, like her body angles aren't necessarily right, or the way that her she's not necessarily following through all the way, things like that. But for the most part, she's actually pretty functional. You're impressed. You were not going to tell her that, obviously, but it's pretty impressive for a beginner. So
Sweet.
You're teaching her how to do that. Rainmar, you're walking down the south end of the tunnel. You get about maybe 50 feet down there more, and you start to hear a splashing noise in the water.
Can I tell roughly where it's coming from?
Yeah, it's coming from the floor level. It's really it's either footsteps or something on the floor.
In front of me.
In front of you.
And I get the feeling that it's alive.
It's definitely alive. It's in the darkness. It's alive.
Only one set of footsteps?
No, it's maybe like it's weird. Make me a 6-sider.
3.
Okay. You kind of it sounds like footsteps, like maybe 20 footsteps, but if only everything had 1 foot. Like something solitary splashing around at 20 different places.
Okay. I'm going to white pitch one of my orcish, gnollish arrows.
Mm-hmm. Herrick loads up his crossbow. He looks over at you. He goes, "What's the play?"
Aim center and low.
Right. He goes, "I'm killing this torch." He goes, I can't see shit, right?
As you will.
He says, "But I can see where you're shooting." He goes, "Wherever you shoot, I shoot, all right?" He goes, "I figure that white pitch is going to light up the hallway anyway, right?"
Correct. That's the objective.
Right. He goes,
"Just
don't walk me into anything."
Yeah, let me get. I convey to Herrick that what I'm hearing. I'm assuming he can hear it too.
Yeah, I can hear it. It's weird, man.
The problem is. Another game. We have 2 of these things. Mm. You guys have 1 on your end. 1 of what? Whatever it is that's splashing. Yes. Okay. Although I don't know how many it is. What do you need for archery?
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to aim right where I hear.
Okay, I don't need anything. Just roll me a 20.
9.
You shoot the white pitch down the hallway. It hits the ground where you're hearing something. It immediately lights up in this phosphorus kind of whitish fire that explodes around there. Your infravision is spoiled, but your regular vision is okay, okay? This is what you see down the hallway. The ground tilts downward at a slope, probably about maybe a very low grade, like 3% grade. There's water in the actual hallway itself, and what's splashing around look like fish, small fish in there. A lot of tiny little ones. But there's something else that's troublesome down that hallway. In the hallway, there's kind of like a fog on the ground. All right, it's like maybe like a mist, maybe. It doesn't really obscure view. It's just kind of meanders around the ground. You're not really sure why either, because the temperature doesn't seem any different. But the walls, now that you're down, you look down the way. The walls about maybe 10 feet down all of a sudden start to twist and turn and knurl, like they're kind of like the stone like it's a bunch of tree roots and everything made stone rather than flat walls. It's very strange. It's kind of like twisting and turning, the walls do inconsistently, but it's not made by hand. It's made by something else. You're not really even sure what. Most troublingly of all, you notice on the walls themselves, it's like you see the parts that are bulging out kind of pulse a little bit, like they're alive almost, like
Okay.
blood running through veins. There's an eye stuck in the wall that just kind of moves around and looks wildly. Now that the light's in there, it looks like it's blinded, but yet it can't focus on anything. It just kind of looks around like crazily. Um, there's hair growing out of one part of a wall somewhere. It's just alien looking. It's very strange. Herrick just kind of sees it. It's like he just kind of stiffens a little bit. What the hell is that?
Hmm.
In the meantime, down the other way, Rainmar, Elin comes back. She says, "Hey, Rainmar," or she goes, "Agrias." She goes, "I'm here to tell." What's that sound? She says she hears the splashing you guys do.
Something down the hallway.
Yeah, I hear. Listen, there's a trap over on the right side. You remember where the hole is? Don't walk across
Yeah.
the slats. Jump if you have to, because that wooden slat, it's perforated in the middle. You stand on it, you're gonna go right down.
Understood. Thank you.
What are you doing, Lily? I'm practicing with my sword. Oh, okay. You hear the laborers start to come down the the main ladder.
Okay.
I'll go get them. You want me to send them your way?
Yeah, please.
She nods. She goes and gets the laborers. The laborers come back to you. The first one leading them is their leader, of course. He looks over at you. He's uh, what's going on?
I need you to patch up this corridor, blockade it, stuff it, however you need.
He looks over. You heard the man, guys. Let's go get it. How far down you want us to work? Or right here?
Oh, I mean, maybe 5 feet in, no more.
Oh, you heard him. Let's start right now. So you go get some wood. You get the tools. How reinforced does this have to be? Is this load bearing? What do you want? How do you want this to be?
Um, enough to stand against 15.
15 men.
Yeah.
Weapons?
Yes.
He looks over. He says, "Well, if they use fire," he goes, "we're screwed."
Agreed.
So, well, we'll just do the best we can. All right, let's start going, guys. We're going to make a wall right over here. We're going to reinforce over. He starts to talk, giving orders. Meanwhile, what are you going to do?
I'm going to stand and watch nothing pops out of that corridor while they're working on it.
Okay, you and Lily and Elin are there. On the other side, Rainmar, you and Herrick are standing there in this weird hallway right now. What are you going to do?
Do I get the feeling that there's an so there's a living aspect to this hallway? Really?
It seems like it.
I tell Herrick that we're gonna go back and get Agrias.
Yeah, I say it's a good idea. But you're coming with me, man. I'm not leaving you here alone.
As we back away.
By the way, one other thing you notice, Rainmar, that white pitch that's in the water is still burning. The water doesn't put it out.
Okay.
Important piece of trivia for you.
Yeah, I want to. Does Herrick have any oil flasks?
Yeah, I got some right here. Why? What are we doing?
I want him to make the next trap that he makes behind us, covering our rear. I want it to be a oil flask igniting.
He looks around. Oh, yeah, I think I could do that. Yeah, I'll rig it from the ceiling.
And a little bit of white pitch would probably help that go.
Yeah, he goes, that stuff's pretty good. Yeah, I think I could do that. He goes, why don't you go get a Grias and I'll start rigging.
Well, I'm not leaving you down here either.
All right, fair enough. So he rigs another tripwire, sets it up with white pitch, sets it up with 2 flasks of oil. Yeah, I feel pretty good about that. Here's the light, and all right, we're good. It takes about maybe 15 minutes.
We head back to work with Grias.
Agrias, from the other direction, you're starting to smell smoke. It smells like white pitch. Helene kind of looks over at you.
Ideas?
Yeah, I'll stay here with the workers. Why don't you and Lily go and figure out what's going on down there?
The North Corridor.
South Corridor.
South Corridor, okay. I'm gonna head that way.
You start heading that way and you run right into Rainmar and Herrick.
What's up, guys?
Nothing good. He has his crossbow over his shoulder. Looks over at you, Rainmar.
Yeah, we've got a little situation down here. It looks like some sort of magically designed or magically built corridor. It's twisted, mangled. I wouldn't go down there unless somebody was really paying me a lot.
Okay. Did you guys lay traps or anything?
I got white pitch and oil trap. I got 2 deadfalls, and I got a drop trap.
Sounds to me like it's fortified. Let's set some traps in the main entrance to the ladder.
He nods. Yeah, I'll do a couple. I'll cut a couple rungs, and I'll handle I'll do the floor too. He says, yeah, we'll do a drop trap that way. He says, I got a problem with this whole thing, though, man. He goes, if this is magic down here, we got 2 choices, really, is the way I see this. Either we move the whole camp, or we figure out what's going down here and we do something about it. Because there's no way I feel good about us sleeping on top of it.
Was there anything that stood out down the corridor that you guys went down?
He looks over at Rainmar.
You mean the eyeball that was looking at us from the wall itself?
Did you shoot the eye?
Well, no, because I didn't want to piss it off when we're undermanned.
Not only that, boss, but you never said anything about engaging the enemy.
Fair enough. How far away was the eye down the hallway?
He says, well, it's probably about 100 feet down past the hole going down.
Did you guys run into any trouble on the other end?
No, we didn't even go down. I just started fortifying the North Corridor, but the smell of smoke started coming down.
Well, we did hear some splashing, Lily says.
And the splashing, yeah.
We heard splashing on our end, too. There's a slope downward, about a 3% grade. I saw some little fish, and when I shot my arrow down there to light up the hallway, the water didn't put out the fire.
Okay. So since this corridor is fortified with traps, should we go to the North Corridor and see what's going on before they block it up?
Herrick's like, I'm good for whatever. He goes, but I really feel like I said, we gotta figure out what's going on down here, or we gotta move this camp because I don't think it's safe. And we've already done so much above ground. We've already wasted so much wood. I think we're kind of locked in here.
The question now is a simple one. Are we more concerned about the North Corridor before they've gotten it blocked off where all of our laborers are? Or are we more concerned about the South Corridor where we already have some idea what's down there and we've trapped it? Part of me thinks we should be investigating the splashing in the North Corridor before they have finished fortifying it.
Not
They can
only that,
continue
but
to-
those workers over there aren't fighters.
Yeah, they're going to get annihilated.
All right, let's go to the north corridor.
All right. Marching order, Agrias. Who's leading the team, and what order are you guys marching in?
I'm gonna be in the front. I guess Lily's gonna be next to me. Ilin and Hera can be in the middle, and then since Rangmar has infravision, he can be in the back.
Sounds good. Okay, you guys are heading down that way. You get to the laborers. The laborers are about halfway done fortifying the wall. Problem, boss?
Yeah, I want you to pause, and we're gonna check out this corridor.
Well, they can probably continue to build the structure and then just move it into place after we come back.
Yeah, that's not unfeasible. Besides, if you guys had to run out, that way we have some stuff half done.
That works. Okay, let's do that.
They've got a framework kind of built around it to like bolster the hallway. It looks like a couple support beams on the side, and it looks like what they were getting ready to do is they were going to make a hinged door with a couple long pieces of timber across it that they could kind of bolt it across with. He goes, the big plan is, he says, he looks over at the walls. He goes, we were going to bore into the sides of the walls here, we were going to extend it out so that it would actually, the wall itself would reinforce the frame.
Perfect.
Because that should hold just brute force, but like I said, if they're using fire, we're screwed.
But if they're using fire, they're going to smoke themselves out before they get to us anyway.
That's true. By the way, speaking of smoke,
if they're using,
did you guys smell that
fire,
coming from the south?
Yeah, I fired a phosphorus arrow.
Oh, okay. Okay. Long as you guys know what it is. We just smelled something we didn't know.
No worries, keep working.
Yep, we're on it. What were you going to say now, Agrias?
If you shot, say if you laid a trap with white pitch and then shot a fire arrow or ignited an arrow and then shot it at the white pitch, would it explode?
It would explode. Once the thing actually the pitch caught, yeah, it would explode.
Okay, so if they were using fire and someone laid a white pitch trap, it would ignite that area?
It would.
Okay.
It would definitely do that.
Okay.
So, you're continuing with that marching order. You're heading down the hallway. Right, Agrias, as you're heading forward, this is what your party sees. The hallway, as I said, is about maybe 10 feet across. It's equally tall. It's smooth stone going the entire way. The entire way that you're going, you're hearing this splashing noise starting to increase in volume. You see nothing on your infravision. No one else is using a light source right now. You're relying strictly on infravision so that you guys stay cloaked. But that also means that Ilin and Herrick are essentially walking in the dark. Are you okay with that?
I don't know. I mean, if something pops out, we should be able to kind of need them to see.
Make me a 20, please.
Okay. 14.
The biggest problem with that stratagem is that not everything will appear on infravision. Cold body sources do not appear on infravision. So, for example, this is why Rainmar did not see the fish in the distance. They're cold body sources. So, if something cold was in the hallway, you wouldn't see it. Are you still going to move downward? With no light. Just using infravision.
If I white pitch my sword, will it light up like a torch?
It would light up with a torch. It may damage the blade eventually. White pitch burns hot. Ask Solveig.
I don't need to.
Good, you can't anyway.
Yeah.
I'm going to hand Rangmar that blade I took off of that elf that challenged me to a duel.
Okay. You give the sword to Rainmar. Rainmar, the sword feels very light. It's obviously gripped for an elf.
Well, I'm half elf.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll sling that one. I'll pull out my Manish blade, the blade I started with.
Okay.
And I will lightly pitch the blade at the tip.
Okay.
I think we need a little bit of light. So, how much light can Elin produce?
Elin can produce with her torch, a flickering torchlight that will give you about 30 feet radius.
Oh, that might be enough.
That's enough.
Okay, then if that's the case, can I stay away from the group enough to stay in darkness?
You and Elin, well, that would mean that everyone with infravision, if that's what you guys want to do, will go to the front of the group, and you'll be at the beginning of that 30-foot envelope. Is that all right with you?
I'm okay with that. Is that okay with you?
That's how the two of us are up front. Yeah.
Also, Lily will be up front because she has infravision too. And in fact, Lily has the longest infravision of all of you. She's a gnome, so she has actually 60 foot.
Okay.
Or 90, I should say.
Yeah. We will, I'm going to draw. So I didn't do the pitch on the sword. I'm gonna go ahead and just draw another. No, I'm gonna knock an arrow.
Okay, so you both have your bows out, and you're walking down the hallway. Lily's there with you. She's got her sword out. As you walk down the hallway, the splashing noise is getting closer and closer. You get probably about maybe 90, 100 feet from it, and it stops suddenly. What are you going to do?
Same thing as before. I'm going to fire a white phosphorus arrow down the hallway.
You do that. The white phosphorus arrow goes down the hallway, arcs forward. Make me a 20.
It's 14.
Okay. Hits the floor. This is what you see. Ahead of you, the hallway stops about 50 feet up. It looks like it drops down slightly, maybe about 2 feet. Opens up into a wider area. In that wider area, which you can't see exactly how wide it is, there are human-shaped figures. Probably 10 of them, maybe, you think? Hard to count. They are all wearing very old clothing. Looks like it's kind of torn and tattered. The bodies that you see, they're actual bodies. Dead white, bloated. There's like boils and stuff all over them. Some of their organs, like their eyes, are actually melted out of their face down there. Just some are missing their tongues. There's worms crawling in and out of their flesh. And as you fire the white phosphorus arrow down there, you start hearing them all making these horrible guttural noises. And they start shambling towards you.
How many feet?
Probably about maybe 60, 70 feet ahead.
And
Lily stiffens suddenly as she sees that. Herrick kind of pulls out his crossbow. What are you going to do?
Are we at a range to fire?
You are arranged to fire from the front ranks.
And with our movement rate, can we get back to the fortification before they reach us?
If you turned around and ran right now, no problem. But it's hard to tell how fast these guys are right now.
Can you shoot a white pitch at them and just ignite them all?
I can't ignite them all, but I could shoot a white pitch and ignite one.
And make the other ones back off?
Well, or make them try to attack. I mean, I don't know.
They're shambling towards you right now. What are you guys going to do?
I'll fire. What's the nearest one is where?
Nearest one is coming right down the hallway towards you. And they're coming en masse. They're like 5 coming down the hallway right now at a time. They're like almost like crawling over each other to get at you.
How many actions do I get?
You'll get 2 shots in the first round.
Can I throw an oil flask and break it against the ceiling?
Yes, you can. You gonna
Or
do that
just the
instead?
4? Just settle down.
Okay.
I want to throw the oil.
All right.
I want to fire the white pitch arrow to ignite it.
Okay. Agrias, what are you going to do?
I'm just gonna let loose 2 arrows on him.
Okay. Lily
My-
sheathes her
my
sword and
standard
grabs
arrows,
her
not my
her
fancy
darts and starts throwing darts. Or daggers, I should say. I need both of you to roll me 2 20s.
12 and 18.
Oh, okay.
18 and 10.
Woo! Look at you two. Lily, 19 and 18 and 15. Oh my gosh, look at this friggin' onslaught. Okay, this is what happens. Raidbar, you take your oil flask, quickly grab it, sling it up against the ceiling above where they are, pulls out his bow. Agrias kind of drops to one knee, fires twice. Roll me 2 6-siders.
3,
Uh-huh.
1.
The first one that's coming down the hallway, you hit it right through the chest. This putrescent green rotted flesh explodes out through its back, through its chest. The second one, you rip right through the eye socket. Half of its head actually explodes, and brain and just this horrible rotted green viscera starts running down the side of its face. It shambles about 3 more steps and drops onto the ground. Lily goes ahead. She fires her 3 darts. She hits one in the face, the other in the leg. Yeah, she hits it in the face, the leg, and the chest, and it screams it horribly. It kind of twists around. It jerks almost out of its skin as it tries to get at it. Actually, it leaves part of its flesh behind, jerking out of its skin to get at you. Raymar, the last shot, pulls up, and he hits the white pitch with his arrow. The whole hallway explodes in this blinding flash of white fire. Herrick shoots twice with his crossbow. I just rolled a 20. Oh my god. Herrick shoots with his crossbow. The last thing you see, as one of them is coming through the fire, it hits it right square in the head and explodes like an overripe melon with a sledgehammer hitting it. This whole hallway just is exploded into flame. You see inside this white fire these skeletal almost figures that were these creatures writhing and screaming these horrible, unholy, shrieking sounds through here. The whole hallway is full of the scent of burning, rotting flesh. Elin throws a sling bolt at them. I just rolled another 20. How come I can't roll like this for myself? Anyway, Elin throws a sling bolt at one of them. You hear in the distance one of them also just scream out. This whole hallway is now nothing but flame in the middle of it. Smoke is starting to cling to the ceiling. Black smoke. There's nothing coming out of this maelstrom that you've created in the hallway. Lily's standing there with her darts, kind of shaky. She looks over at you. You think there's more, Agrias?
I don't know. We just destroyed a lot, so you can breathe easy.
She nods. Herrick's like, that was awesome. Click. He goes, good shot, Raymar.
Thank you. I need a can I make a perception check to hear movement?
No, but you can roll me a 20-sider.
Can I do the same?
Yeah, give me a 6 instead for you.
Damn, I rolled a 16.
That's a 12.
Okay. You're listening in there. You're hearing the sounds of the licking of flames, this crackling noise in the hallway. You're hearing screaming still, but it's like muted a little bit. It's hard to hear over the sound of the fire. You'd probably have to get a little closer.
Okay.
Just destroyed the hallway.
That was a friggin' onslaught for first level characters. Oh my god.
Sheer morbid curiosity. How many actions do I get this round?
It depends on what you're trying to do.
I'm going to shoot 2 more phosphorus arrows down the hallway.
Okay, you get 2 shots. Go ahead and make me 20s.
I want to put this right in the center of the smoke.
Okay.
That's a 9 and a 15.
Okay. Roll me a 6-sider.
1.
You hear something shriek as you fire your phosphorus arrow down there. Makes Lily jump a little bit. But that was it. Just something shrieked very shortly, and that was it.
I'm going to shoot 2 more arrows.
Okay, go ahead.
Dead center. 4 and 15.
Okay. You don't hear anything through the fire. Elin kind of looks over at you guys. She goes, is that what we're doing now? We're just shooting into the smoke and fire, and we don't even know what we're shooting at?
No, just making sure everything was dead.
Right. Well, if anything comes through there, I don't think we can handle it. She pulls out her mug, starts drinking her beer again.
How long until the fire burns out?
That's the thing about white pitch. It's going to take a long time for it to burn out.
Didn't know that. I thought it was quick burning.
No, the problem is that's what you found out from the water. Is water doesn't necessarily put out that white pitch. Yeah, it's going to take a little while to burn out. However, that being said, it's no problem for you guys to wait it out.
Are there any rooms on the side of the wall?
Make me a
before that
6-sider.
white pitch? 6-sider? 1.
You're kind of looking on the side of the wall. Kind of run your finger across part of it. You go through the dust, because there's dust on the side of the wall, and then you hit a seam.
Hidden passage.
All right, try and figure out how to open it and check for traps.
Eric's like, no, yeah. Let me handle this. Everybody back off for a second. If I trip this thing, I don't want anybody going down with me. He looks over at you guys. He goes, this isn't really my gig. Oh, it's mine, though, Lily says.
Lily, you're up.
Right, Brixton taught me how to do this. Okay, everybody back off in case I trip it. Herrick just kind of looks at you guys like...
All right, Lily, you're up. Everyone back away.
Elin looks at you. Is this really wise?
I mean, she seems pretty damn confident to me. I haven't seen Lily this confident, so I'm going to let her reign.
Okay. I see something here. Yeah, there's something here. I got these tools here. Get the knife. Do I cut the red one?
No!
Do I cut the red one or the black one? He said the black one first. Got it. Click. I got it! I got it, guys! I got it!
All right, come over in case there's a delayed reaction or something.
Right. I got it! She skips over.
Yeah, you just leveled up. You'll never have enough gold for second level.
She runs over. She runs over and she actually hugs Agrias's leg. I got it!
Give me a high five.
Yeah.
Right,
Lynn seems a little bemused. Not bad, kid. Not bad. Now let's hope you didn't trigger anything worse. You want me to take the door?
Yeah, if you can slam it open and then step aside in case something tries to hit you.
Yeah. I got it. All right. Door coming open. Here we go. Gets to the door, pulls it open, and beyond it, you smell ancient air that has not been clearly. It's been trapped in here for a very long time. There's a small room back there, about 10 by 10. In the middle of it is a pillar. Are you going to investigate it?
Lily, you're up. Search for traps.
Right.
I follow Lily, but I'm looking for hidden doors.
Make me a
Same here.
6-sider. No traps. No traps. This pillar, there's like okay. There's it's like a closet.
How do you mean?
Come here, I'll show you. You walk in there, and the pillar, it's all stone except for the back face of it, which is wood, and it's got a hinged door on it. Inside of there, there's a bed, there's a desk, and there's a bookcase. The bookcase is empty. The desk has looks like it's got a few papers on it. The bed is ancient, and there's a skeleton laying in there.
Is the skeleton wearing anything? Any jewelry? Any clothing?
Yeah, the skeleton is wearing old, looks like nautical clothing, like a sailor's clothing. And he is wearing a necklace, a gold necklace, and has a ring on. You'll notice as you guys walk in the door, Agrias, since you're looking for things in Rainmar, the back of the wall, it's very clear on it. The back of the door has a big circle cut on it with a curved glass. It was a spyglass looking through the wall. This was obviously some kind of a hidden sentry point at some point.
Looking out or in?
Looking out into the
Looking
hole.
out. I want to get a closer look at the necklace and the ring.
Okay, you start getting closer look at the necklace and the ring. What are you going to do, Agrias?
There's a skeleton. There's a shelf, but there's nothing on it.
Nope. There's the desk, and then there's the cabinet that's built into the pillar.
I'm gonna ask Lily to look for traps in the cabinet.
Okay. Okay.
Trying to get this shit to level up.
I'm looking for traps. I'm looking for traps. Oh my god. I found something.
Okay. Good or bad?
It's like a little nozzle. Oh, yeah, this is bad. This is bad. Let me get my tools. She takes some cotton out and she plugs it into this hole. You see, with a little stopper. Okay, this should stop it.
Okay.
It's an acid trap.
You open up the door.
Herrick, open this thing up.
You know, kid, you're gonna get me killed one of these days. He opens it up. When you open it up, what you see is there's a big jar affixed to the inside of the wood, and there's a mechanism by which, as soon as the door, if it wouldn't have been disarmed, it would have sprayed something out the nozzle all over somebody in the front. Whatever's in the contents of this jar.
We can't tell what the contents of the jar are. I'm not with them. Never mind.
No, you're over at the skeleton. Rainmar, as you look at the skeleton's got a hat on. It's got a little bit of a feather on it. You see the ring and the necklace. The ring is a silver ring. It's got a peridot in it, the gemstone, and the necklace is gold, and it's kind of got it's got a locket in the front. Looks like they were both female.
I want to. Oh, the ring and so it's a female skeleton.
Female skeleton. It looks like, just judging by the jewelry.
Can I open the locket?
Yeah, you open the locket. You open the locket, and as soon as you open the locket, there's a small piece of paper in there, like a fortune cookie size paper.
Okay. I close the locket.
Okay, you close the locket.
Yeah.
Do you take the paper, or do you leave the paper there?
I'm gonna leave the paper in the locket.
Okay.
I'll take the. What else is around the bed? Is there any drawers or any?
Looking around the bed, you kind of, are you going to investigate it closely?
Well, I am curious what the hell's going on here. but I'm also going to draw this. I'm going to take out the sword that Agrias handed me.
Okay, you pull out the sword that Grias handed you.
Yeah.
Okay. You're looking at the bed. Make me a 6-sider while I go to Agrias. Agrias, inside of this cabinet, it looks like it was a liquor cabinet because there's like 7 or 8 different bottles of them. There's a couple of them that are labeled rum. There's one over that's labeled Kiowish brandy. But there's 3 of them that are unlabeled. And plus there's the jar of whatever was going to get sprayed at you.
Elin, I feel like this is your field.
Yeah, this is definitely my field. In fact, I'm going to unscrew this jar here and figure out what this is, too.
All right, be careful, please.
Yeah. Oh, this is what I do, she says. She unscrews it. It smells. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So this is acid. So, yeah, you were right. This is definitely an acid trap. Strong stuff, too. Screws the top.
Is there a way you can we can take it up above?
Oh, most definitely. This is if you think that Rainmar's white pitch was doing some damage, she goes, this would really screw somebody's day up. She hands it over to you, Agrias. She grabs one of the other bottles. She kind of looks at it, tilts it back and forth, looks at it. Tree sap. Spirit.
And what's that good for?
Spirit wood tree sap. She unstoppers it. I know what this is.
Okay.
She says, this is back when the men of Stonefist used to fight against, to the north, up against the Fruzti, when they were in combat. The Stonefists received a bunch of these potions from some of their mysterious benefactors to the west. They used to make them fight like demons when they would drink these. They used to call them potions of heroism. She said, because they would make them fight like heroes. She says, it's pretty. Looks like somebody drunk half of it, but there's enough for about 2 doses of it. Shows it's pretty useful stuff. Hands it over to you.
Okay.
She looks at another one. Kind of studies it. Flicks it twice. There's something crawling around in the bottom of it. Flicks it again. Don't drink this.
Okay.
Pulls out the last one. It's kind of this effervescent blue one. Kind of looks at it. Shakes it up a little bit. Reaches in her pocket. Pulls out a little sprig of mistletoe. Drops it out in there. Watches the way it floats. Disappears as it gets to the bottom. Invisibility.
Okay.
Hands it over to you.
What was in the one that had something crawling in it?
Oh, it's poison. She says it's pretty quick acting, she says, but I think that it's ingestive. I don't think it's the kind you could coat your weapons with. Probably the person that was in here was getting their liquor cabinet raided, and they wanted to leave somebody a nasty surprise.
Okay, I'm going to have you hold on to that one to bring topside.
Right, she says. Starts putting it with her stuff. What about the other 2? Eric, I wouldn't mind some of that potion of heroism or whatever the hell that stuff is.
Yeah, she's leaving the rum and whatever else is there.
Are you crazy? I'm taking the alcohol. Meanwhile, over at the bed, Rainmar, you're looking over at the bed. Go ahead.
I rolled a 5.
Okay. As you're investigating the bed, you realize that the bed is way too stiff for it to have been actually a bed, which makes you look at the underside of it, and you realize that there is a hidden compartment underneath it. It's like something like a case strapped to the bottom of it.
Are there any hinges or?
Yes, there's a hinge to it.
And is there a handle to open it?
There is a handle to open it.
How far is the rest of the group?
The rest of the group is with you in the room. The whole group is in the room with you.
Right, they were just looking at something else.
Yes.
I'm going to ask Elin.
The smell of smoke has reached this room, by the way, from the corridor outside.
I'm going to ask Elin to take a look at the ring and the necklace. Tell her what I found in the locket.
She goes, okay, well, I'm no mage, but I could definitely look at them. She goes, definitely a woman's necklace. Oh. So did you see the piece of paper in here?
I did. You're not going to read that, are you?
Well, I was thinking about it, but maybe I shouldn't. You're right. She puts it back in there and closes it. She goes, yeah, that's probably a good idea, isn't it? Closes it, looks at it in the light a little bit. She says, I don't know anything about either of these two items.
And what do you know about this compartment under the bed?
She looks over and looks at it. She goes, I know that I want Lily to look at it before I open it. She looks back at you. She goes, I'm more than willing to read messages and necklaces, but this is a little too obvious.
Very well. Lily?
Lily gets underneath there. She crawls underneath the bed.
Lily gets there and she's like, I got this.
Yeah, that's basically what she is now. Lily thinks she's trap mistress supreme now. She gets underneath there. Oh, let's see. No, I don't see anything on this one. Herrick, let me guess. I'm crawling under the bed and opening this thing.
It's going to be something worse than trapped. It's not trapped because there's a dragon in there or some shit.
It's under a bed, bro. Is it a baby dragon? You scared of a baby dragon?
It's a baby dragon.
It's a baby dragon.
Probably cuddly.
He looks.
I'm gonna turn on my all-around sight.
Okay, your all-around sight is on.
Cool. Lily, you want to crawl under there?
By the way, Patrick, something you should remember is you took the blind fighting ability. You could have fought completely normally in that hallway without seeing.
Oh, that's right.
You know that, right? Okay.
I remember now. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you get in the hallway, or you get actually into the underneath, and who's opening the case?
Okay, rock, paper, scissors. You're Lily, I'm Herrick. Okay, Herrick's gonna open the...
Go figure. He gets underneath there, opens up the case, flicks the two handles. You hear him, because you can't really see him underneath, because he's got just legs sticking out. He goes, if I find something good in here, do I get to keep it?
Fuck no.
It was, I was asking the boss.
Yeah, and I'm answering.
Depends on what you find.
If you find something really good, I'm gonna kill all you and myself.
You find a baby dragon, buddy, it's all yours.
He goes, there's two blades in here.
All right, pull them out and let's put them on the bed.
Pulls it out. One of them is a very, very long, it's a bastard sword. Okay? It is gorgeous. It's made like it's almost too bright of a silver to be silver. And the handle is wrapped in wire. It's got a pommel of, it looks like a zircon. It's gorgeous sword. Gorgeous sword.
I look down at Lily and go, we finally found you a real sword.
She's like, no way. She goes, that one's like twice as tall as me. But there's also, he goes, this one I think is more your speed. And he pulls out and plops down a dagger on top of the table. He goes, whoever this person was probably fought two-handed.
It's a matching dagger?
Yep. Matching set.
All right, I'm gonna have Lily check for traps on both of them.
She goes, I don't even know where to start with these. She's looking at, hey, She goes, there's this dagger. The bottom is hollow. The handle.
Cool.
She kind of flicks it a little bit, unscrews the bottom, and pulls it out. And when she pulls it out, there's a long needle that comes out of the inside of it. The whole well of the inside of the dagger is filled with liquid.
Awesome.
I don't think this is what you want to get stuck with, and puts it back in. Screws it back in, real careful.
Okay, so
Herrick goes,
let's,
that thing I wouldn't even, if you're going to try, I wouldn't even think about throwing that thing. He goes, that thing's balance has got to be crazy off.
yeah.
But for a hidden weapon, that's pretty nasty.
Is the it's a matching set, a dagger and a sword.
Yep.
The dagger's long dagger though.
Yeah, dagger is a long dagger.
Okay. I'll strap those to my back. Actually,
You start strapping to your back. Agrias, Herrick looks over at you and just is like, over at him.
and I'll take the ring and the necklace, but the way that I'm gonna take them is by breaking the finger bone off of the ring so it stays on the finger.
Okay.
And removing the skull so that I don't have to break the necklace.
Okay. You start removing the skull. Agrias, you hear something at the door. And what you see, you turn around. One of those fucking creatures has walked out of the hallway through the fire. It is on fire. And its hand is on the door. And it just drops into a heap at the door.
Time to go, guys. I draw my sword.
Yeah, you draw your sword.
That's none of your business.
You want me to take the other one I gave you?
Fuck off.
Does Lynn have a sword?
No, Lynn's a druid. She's got a staff and she's got a sling.
Worry about yourself.
You got 3 swords and a dagger, bro.
You don't know what I have.
You got 2 swords and a dagger, bro.
I'm drawing. I'm double wheeled. I'm triple wheeled. Just focus on the fight ahead of us, all right?
He says, you don't know what I have, and you see 3 swords strapped to his back.
I look over at Herrick and just go,
Hey.
He goes, I thought I was a selfish prick.
Are we seriously leaving?
I'm going to start watching the door, but I'm going to have everyone else look around the room.
Can we keep searching the room? Or
Yeah, you can keep searching the room. You're searching the room in the meantime. Agrias, you go out to the door. There's nothing else coming down the hallway. It looks like one straggler just tried to come through the fire anyway.
I'm turning on blind fighting.
You have blind fighting on? Okay.
Wait. Can he have both of them active?
Yes, he can.
That's crazy.
I am all that is man. Or elf, in this case.
You guys see Agrias kind of just close his eyes and go out in the hallway. Totally in Jedi mode. Pulls his hood down just a little bit over his face. You're kind of in tune with everything that's going on around you. All right? Agrias passed the fire, which it goes about maybe 20 feet. Nobody could possibly see that past there because of the blinding smoke and everything. There are at least 10 creatures there that are just waiting.
They're waiting for the fire to go out?
Yes, they are. They're all just stacking up waiting.
Okay, I call Rangmar back out of the room.
Raymar, you're in the middle of looking at one of the walls, and you hear Agrias call you out.
All right, I hike out there.
Okay, you're aware of Agrias's or Raymar's exact movement, exactly where he is in the room as he comes out. It's weird. You even know because through the wall where he is that he's moving towards you. And he comes over into the hallway and sees you. You see Agrias standing there with his sword. He's got his hood kind of pulled down. There's no way he could possibly see you.
Can I direct him on where to shoot?
You could.
Okay.
They're waiting for the fire to go out. That's what he's conveying.
Yes. Well, I don't know. What is he conveying? What are you going to
What
tell
are
him?
you conveying? You're telling me to shoot at.
Okay, I see a bunch of humanoid-looking figures standing behind the fire, waiting it to go
The
out.
same monsters.
I believe so.
So let's make sure the fire doesn't go out.
Agreed.
Okay.
And I'm gonna direct wherever they're.
Masked up.
Like-
Okay.
Well, if there's 10 of them, you could probably shoot the hallway and hit one.
Right, you could. But he's
Okay.
going to be telling you discreetly where to go, I assume.
Okay, then
Normal
it's
arrows?
gonna be 2 white phosphorus arrows.
God, okay.
18 and 16, dude.
Oh my god!
You got your sword, you got your bow out. You're just like this. And Agrias takes your hand, your arm, and just pulls it over a little bit. You release, and you hear something just shriek and an explosion in the hallway. You hear just this horrible sound. The burning flesh the scent of it just rolls through the hallway at you. It hits you like a wave. The heat just kind of rolls out of the fire towards you. Oh god, it smells horrible in the hallway. Agrias, you're aware of them starting to try and retreat. But
Okay.
a lot of them are falling now just from the 2 shots.
Okay, I stand there, in blind fight, and I tell Raymar,
Just sit
okay,
there.
that's it. You can go back to the room.
Maybe we should take off now.
Okay. Yeah. We're gonna bail. I call the others to leave.
Okay, you call the others just to leave. Herrick comes out in the hallway. I didn't see anything else in there, boss. He goes, I think we
Okay.
pretty much looted everything. Friggin' Raymar's even got the friggin' skull.
Perfect.
Lynn says, I had the papers. I got the papers.
Awesome.
Oh, I wanted to read those.
She goes, are you just going to read strange papers on the desk?
Correct.
Right. She goes, see, we're both learning something today, and winks at you.
Where's Lily?
I'm right here.
Okay.
She goes, I was investigating stuff too.
Okay.
I was just checking the ceiling and things because nobody looked there. I was standing on the desk.
Oh, okay. You don't. Okay, it's time to head back.
Well, I was just thinking, there's traps on the floor. Maybe there could be traps on the ceiling too. No one would look there.
Okay, fair enough.
We're all learning things today.
Yeah.
Well, Brixton told me that you should always think outside the box, so that's what I did.
I'm gonna put Brixton in a box.
You are no longer Brixton's apprentice. You are mine.
Are you gonna tell her that?
Yeah.
She just kind of is like, okay. I guess I'm your apprentice now, I guess.
Okay, can I snatch your sword?
Yeah, you can snatch her sword. You take her sword.
Okay, I pat her on both shoulders.
She gets down on one knee. She's like, am I like a knight now?
You are now my Padawan, Lily.
Herrick just puts his hand over his face. This is not going to end well.
As long as it ends.
Helene
And I look at
just
her
kind of
and I go,
whispers in your ear, I hope you know what you're getting yourself into.
I do. I look at Lily and I go, be sure to tell Brixton everything that happened here.
Oh, I will. I'm sure he'll be really excited for me. I mean,
He definitely will.
because he told me he wants me to learn everything, so, and he wants me to be a good student and do what you say, so that's why I said yes. So I guess he said it was okay.
I do not answer to Brixton.
Well, yeah, but I used to, so, but not anymore.
Right, exactly. Okay.
Quick learner.
She's quick. All right, it's time to get up and leave, guys. Let's get
Lily
back to
is smarter than her sister. Her sister's got more guts than her. So anyway, you guys start going down the South Hall, right?
Okay.
Okay, you start going back towards, you see the workers all standing there around. All of them have their tools up. They're kind of like, they're not really fighters, but they were waiting for something. They're trying to defend themselves as best they could. So they got hammers and stuff like that waiting for you. You get back. They kind of greet you as you get down there. Kelvin is at the front of them. You're back. He goes, good. We were starting to get worried about you. What'd you see? He goes, we smelled smoke. Lots of it. And worse.
It's better we don't talk about it, but all you need to know is that everything is handled and it's safe.
All right, well, that's all I need to know then. Should we finish the fortification?
Yeah, proceed.
All right, you heard the man, boys. Let's do it. They all start working on the fort.
According to Agrias's previous thought, we're going to trap the new hinge door. We're going to trap it in case anybody tries to break through it.
Okay.
And we're going to white pitch it, so if they use fire, it ignites and explodes.
Okay. All right, you start doing that. You are now out of one of your bottles of white pitch.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So you go ahead and you white pitch the whole thing. In the meantime, the south way is still open. It's trapped to the gills, but it's still open. Herrick looks over at you. He says, well, he goes, that's a loose end. Do you want to tackle it? Well, we're doing so good so far. I mean, Lily says.
What do you think?
Well, I'm interested. I mean, I don't want to die, but I'm interested. And we do have a retreat spot, which is that little the drop trap. We could all get to the other side of that and fight pretty well from that side.
True.
What we really should have done, we should have been thinking ahead and made some portable standing shields to hide behind in the event that we needed to fight in that corridor.
Yeah.
You guys are having this conversation. Kelvin says, we could throw something like that together pretty fast.
Do it.
Do it.
We need them to stand on their own and be light enough to slide down the hallway.
But thick enough to take an arrow.
Arrow. All right, good enough. All right, boys, here's what we're going to do. You heard the guy. 2-inch thick wood. Make sure it's light. Make sure it's on sleds. Let's go. He starts building them. Make sure there's an arrow slit in there they can return fire back through. You left-handed or right-handed? Looks over at you.
Yeah.
Right-handed? All right. Okay. Cut it this way. They're starting to work on the wood all together. The Lynn kind of looks over at you. Says, you know, these guys are actually pretty handy to have around.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
We're running through a lot of wood, though.
Yeah, we're going to have to start chopping some more wood once we get topside.
And it means it's going to take a little bit longer to build that palisade fence. If we have orc problems later, that could come back to bite us.
That is true.
So you guys build these shields, these sliding shields. Okay, you got them in the hallway.
Yeah. In blind fighting, can I see the eye on the wall?
If you get close enough to it, yeah, your blind fighting extends as far as your normal sight would. So once you get there, no matter if it's lightless or not, you would be able to see it.
Okay.
The white pitch has finally gone out. You guys slide your shield down the hallway, and you get it all the way up to the hole on the ground. How are you going to get it over the hole in the ground?
The idea was that the sled legs would be enough to go over it.
Okay. So the sled legs are going to extend both ways long enough to do that. Okay.
Yeah.
So you go ahead and you push it over. Herrick has got to be the muscle on this one. He's pushing it down the hallway. He's like, he goes, if I knew you guys were going to hire me to do every single dirty job we had here, he goes, I would have negotiated higher pay. He's pushing down the hall.
You keep busting ass like this and we'll give you higher pay, brother.
Yeah.
Looks through the slit. Goes, okay, this is about where we saw this fucking thing. He goes, are you want me to stop so you can check it out?
Yeah.
I want to light it up.
I'm going to, can I see the eye?
You see it, yes. It is in the darkness right now, okay? So it's kind of looking right back at you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Okay.
It's looking right back at you.
Okay, I'm gonna magic missile the eye.
Okay. Roll me
Not
a
sure.
1d4, please.
D4. That one. 4.
Okay. Agrias makes a quick gesture with his hand, releases it, and you see this translucent kind of this ghostly hand reach out towards the thing and just claw at the eye all of a sudden. The eye just gouges out of the wall and starts to bleed right down the face of the wall. Something down the hallway shrieks in pain. Just starts screaming. This blood-curdling, horrible scream. The eye is totally ruined. Just a socket hanging there. Wide open, unblinking socket. With blood just continually weeping down the wall.
Is that Agrias' only action for that round?
That's his only action that round.
That's the only. It's a casting action.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna put an arrow right into the socket.
Okay, make me another roll. A 20.
Yeah. That's a 5.
Okay, well, it's pretty passive, and you're just standing there. You put an arrow into it, stick it into the socket. Nothing happens. You hear the, in fact, you hear the tip of the arrow snap when it hits the stone. Lily is looking at you. That thing is still screaming down the hallway, whatever it is.
Lily, do you have any white pitch?
No.
All right.
No, I don't.
I want to.
White pitch the eye.
No. Where is the eye?
It's ruined. He destroyed it.
Oh, it's gone.
It's
Okay.
gone. It's just an empty socket, like an eye socket that you shot that hole in, the arrow into.
Got it.
In the
Okay,
wall.
so the eye wasn't pulled out.
No, it wasn't. No, it was
Um,
gouged out by that translucent magic missile.
So the little fishies that are in the
Yeah, they're splashing around in the water.
How big are they?
Well, when you get close to them, they are probably only about maybe 4 or 5 inches long. And they're just kind of flailing around. The ground drops off about 6 inches and starts to go down in that grade, as I mentioned. So the water is pooled up into there. What you notice about these fishes, though, is every one of them is horribly mutated. Like there's a mouth on the side of one of them. One of them has eyes, like 5 eyes all over its body. One of them is starting to grow an arm out of the side of it. They're all these twisted, freakish, mutated fish.
Are they reacting to our presence at all?
No, not really.
And are they violent to one another?
No, not really. They're too far away from one another.
I'm gonna take a couple of flecks off of one of my iron rations, and just see if I can kind of fish food it into the water and see what they do.
You fish food it. It starts to ravenously start eating at it, but it doesn't look like looks like it takes it too long, like it would do you any damage. It doesn't look like it has teeth big enough to hurt you.
Gotcha. What do you think?
Can we see any doors or pathways down the hallway?
Make me a 6-sider, Agrias.
And how about on the ceiling?
4. You're using your blind fighting to look ahead and your all-around sight, and you do not sense anything. You don't sense any doors or anything, but you do sense movement below you. Something in an area below you is moving around.
I relay that to the group.
But you don't sense any trapdoors or anything. Okay. Herrick says, it must be from the other one that we cut out.
The drop down, yeah.
Says, do we go down there or do we deal with this?
Well, this means wading through water.
Yeah, but water finds level, man. He goes, It probably is going to even be deeper down there, wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, if there's only 3 inches of water here, that's one thing, but what if it's waist deep down there? Well, if it's waist
And
deep, it's going to be head deep on me.
not to mention the fact that the wall here is twisted, and
Plus, I
magically-
don't think that pushing this sled's going to be too. I might be able to do it down 3 inches of water, but I don't know about waist deep.
Well, the sled is more for the retreat. But,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh,
Going into that water with the walls alive doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
you know,
I
here,
say
but,
we go back topside.
but here we are again, though. We can't just leave it like this, right? I mean, do you really want to go to sleep with a bunch of people up here who can't fight and defend themselves, knowing that this is down here?
wants us to go.
I'm just saying, I could keep my mouth shut and pretend it doesn't exist, but
If we go back to the drop point, we already destroyed the ladder. Something coming up, another not coming out.
you may feel differently.
We can go through the water.
I really don't want to.
I really don't want to either, but there's probably going to be water at the bottom of the drop hole anyway.
Wish Brixton was here. He's really good with water.
I kill Lily.
He's really good with keeping people alive on missions too. So anyway, we've got the.
She shuts up right away when you say that.
We're going to probably end up. We're going to end up in water either way because we heard splashing from the bottom. But if you are feeling movement from underneath us, how far down is the drop hole?
You look. Oh well, when he pushed the ladder, it sounded like maybe 15, 20 feet, maybe. It went down to the ladder was.
And splash?
Yeah. Mind you, though, he goes, there isn't a ladder. So we'd have to use rope or something to go down there.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that so much.
I am if getting up fast is a problem.
Yeah.
Eh,
Keep them up and go down. Because Herrick's probably the biggest and strongest, so while we're climbing, he could also pull the rope.
That's
That's
true. He goes, but you're going to need my muscle down there, aren't you? No. She goes, we have a Grias. He's strong too.
she knows things.
Yeah.
He just kind of rolls his eyes a little at you.
Whatever you want, man. Whatever you want. Whatever I see, I'm going to put an arrow right in the eyesight of it. Even if I see Brixton. I mean,
Can we do a makeshift? Well, not a makeshift, but two strands of rope and put wood on it to make a ladder.
Slats? Yeah, you could do that.
Okay.
And I'm standing up top here, and I'm going to be anchor man helping you guys up and down, right?
Indeed.
All right. Sounds good. So you guys make that. It takes you probably about 15 minutes to make.
Okay.
Who's going first?
I'll go first.
Raymar, you go first. Raymar, you start to go down the hall, down the rope ladder. You find yourself in another corridor, looking straight down, north and south it extends, darkness. You can see with your infravision, about 30 feet both ways. There's no heat source either way. You are standing in probably about 1.5 feet of water.
All right. My all-around sight and blind fighting's on. Okay, can I tell anything?
Just at the edge of your blind fighting, there is motion. But as soon as Rainmar dropped down in the water, it stopped.
Which direction?
South.
Which direction?
South.
I'll just fire south.
I'll fire with you.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna fire. I'm firing 2 arrows.
Okay.
Me too.
You
I'm
too?
firing too.
Okay, you're just gonna fire where he's firing, I take it, right? Since you can't
I'm
really
gonna-
see.
Can I see it? The thing that's.
You know where the motion is.
Okay, I'm gonna direct him where the motion is, and then.
Okay, you're doing the same kind of deal that way. Okay, both you roll 220s.
That's a white pitch arrow. 16 and 10.
Okay,
8 and 11.
okay. I need one 6-sider for both of you.
That's a 3.
Okay, the
4.
first white pitch arrow hits the first target. You see this as it goes downward. It's this weird kind of maybe 5-foot tall creature. Okay, no, not even that tall. Maybe more like 3.5 foot tall. It's just exposed up out of the water. All right, when you hit it, it looks kind of like it's got kind of a doggish face, twisted and knurled. It's got like 5 eyes on the side of its head. It's got a mouth on the side of its face that screams at the same time the other one does. A tongue is hanging out of its eye socket, and all of its orifices just scream when you hit it with the white pitch arrow. It explodes into fire in the middle of the hallway. There's at least 6 of them in there too. Raymar, one of your arrows hits another one of them. They look like they're blinded for a second. They don't know what to do. They're thrashing around in the water. Lily is halfway down the rope, and Lynn is at the top still. What are you guys going to do?
The other creatures in the hall, we can see with conventional
Now
sight
you can see with conventional sight.
And there's nothing behind us.
You look behind you? Are you going to stop to look?
Well, I think I would have done that right when I touched the water.
Yeah, but you really couldn't see anything before, but now with conventional sight you can see. You turn around and look behind you, there's nothing there.
Okay, and he would tell anyway.
Yeah.
So okay, that's fine. So I lit up.
I'm just doing the typical DM yanking your chain, that's all.
How much did I so I fired 2 arrows and I hit 2.
Yes, you hit 1 with your second shot. The second shot hit a guy next to him. It's another one of these twisted, horrible looking things. This one, both of its eyes were mouths, and when you hit it in the face, it opened its mouth and an eyeball was there, and it screams out of its eyes when you hit it. These things are just horribly mutated. One of them's got a tentacle lashing around in the water. They're all just sloshing around from the fire and the blindness right now. So if you wanted another attack, you could get it, or you could do something else. I didn't even have to say it.
15, 7.
Okay.
6 and 2.
Okay. You're 2 misses for you. Go ahead and a 6-sider for Rainmar.
Oh, 4.
Okay, you hit with a 4. You hit a third of them. There's a total now they're in sight of 7 of them. One of them is dead. It's floating on the water, burning. And the other ones are starting to charge, sloshing through the water. All you see is this wild splashing of water as they're charging at you. Spraying water everywhere. I need 2 6s. 1 6 from each one of you for initiative.
Here we go. 6,
2.
Okay, Rainmar, you go first, Agrias. What are you going to do? And by the way, they had a 6 for initiative, so they're going next. So whatever you do, make it good.
I'm gonna let 2 arrows. I can't use any more magic because I used it for the day, right?
Right. You're at point blank range right now, and you are not a weapons specialist with bow. Just keep that in mind that bow is going to be very unwieldy at point blank range.
Can I use my EI Jutsu?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I'm going to do that and do 2 slices.
This, by the way, for all of you who are watching out in the crowd, is where an ability like Yajitsu comes into really good play, because normally right now he would have to lose his action, drop his bow, and move the sword. But instead what ends up happening is Agrias, in a flash, like an eye blink, has his hand on his blade, the bow over his shoulder, and has the blade out in one quick swing. Go ahead and make me an attack of 20.
19.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness. D8, please, for damage.
D8?
That's a longsword, right? You use?
Yeah, I'm using my blade.
Yeah.
4.
Okay. Agrias pulls out his sword, goes right across and bisects one of their faces right in half. The head just kind of slides down a quarter of it across his face and drops into the water. The rest of these things are coming at you quick. There's 4 more of them. And because of their size, there's 3 of them that can attack at once. The first one...
Question.
Yes.
Are we still standing at the bottom of the drop?
You are.
We should be retreating back as we attack so that Herrick can shoot down.
That's a good call. Yeah.
5,
Anyway,
5, and... 2 of them are going to attack Agrias. 1 of them is going to attack Rainmar.
Okay.
Agrias, that's a miss. Agrias, that's a hit. Rainmar, that is a hit. Ooh. Agrias, one of them takes its tentacle and slashes, and you realize it's got nothing but barbs on the inside of it. It hits you in the chest. Blood just starts gushing out of your chest as you feel like 16 dagger strokes across your chest. Take 4. Blood just everywhere in the water. Rainmar, one of them, you don't even know what it did. It reaches out with like this bone spur and shoots it right through your shoulder. Just pain, blinding pain goes through your arm. Take 4 as well.
Okay.
Rainmar, before you get your chance, Lily just drops from the ceiling. She just lets go of the rope and tries to tackle one of them.
With a sword?
She hits one of them, lands on its back, and starts stabbing it with her sword.
Dude, she's crazy. I love this chick.
Oh my god, she rolled a 6. She starts stabbing it with her sword until they both sink into the water. There's nothing but splashing there, and you just see this sword just keep coming up out of the water, plunging down over and over again. Rainmar, your turn.
I just, you know what? I pass on my turn and just go like this. Because I just cannot fucking believe what I just saw. Get a load of this chick, you know? This is crazy. How many in the hallway?
One day of training, by the way, from him. What was it? So for a week of training from Brixton, and she can't do anything. 1 day of training from you, and she's already turned into a kill crazy homicidal maniac. There's 3 more that you can see visibly, or excuse me, I take that back. There's 2 more that can attack you this round. There are 4 more in total. 2 more behind them.
I want to hit the closest one
With what?
with a white pitch arrow.
Okay, keep this in mind. You could shoot white pitch arrow right now, but there's a chance that you could catch yourself on fire because you're so close at point blank range. But there's a really good chance you could catch Lily on fire because she's in the middle of them.
Well, Lily, with all her die rolls and success tonight, she's already on fire. You know what I mean?
So you're gonna take a chance?
No, that's fine. If I can tell that she might be in danger, then I'll just go with one of my conventional.
Okay, make me 2 die rolls. Now you're at a -2 penalty from your being at such close range in the close confines. Or you can move your sword.
I can deploy the sword in a single round?
No, you would lose one of your actions. You don't have Ayujitsu.
Well, I know that, but okay. But I take it. Okay.
Make it count, bro. What you could do is throw a white pitch arrow at the one that's furthest away.
You could do that.
I could shoot at the one that's in the back.
Yep, back row it.
And that's not any danger to her?
You don't think it's minimal danger. Minimal.
What about me?
No. Minimal, almost negligible danger for you.
Okay. 2 and 12. No, excuse me, 18 and 12.
Okay, you miss with the second one, but the first one you put right down the pipe, hit him right in the chest. You hit him in the chest. There's a foot sticking out of his chest somewhere. You bisect it and go right through into the chest. Explodes into flames. Lily, make me a save it. Okay. It explodes into flames. You've seen the dagger stop in the water. That area where Lily and the thing were gone. She pops up out of the water, gasping for breath, kind of trying to swim over to where you guys are. The flame just doesn't reach her, but the one in the back just totally obliterated in the flame.
Does the flame affect the others?
No, it does not. It does not. I just rolled the saving throw for it just now. It did not.
I got you.
Okay,
No
so the other ones are going to move up to take their place in the ranks. And Agrias, it's your turn first.
There's 2 left.
2 left. Agrias' turn first.
All right, did 2 swings on the one that's. Where's Elin?
Elin is still up at the top right now. She's trying to figure out how to attack from upstairs. She's getting ready to try and deploy her sling, but she can't really get there from now.
Okay. All right, I'm doing 2 swings at the one that's coming at me.
Okay.
Okay. 7, 11.
Okay, that's a hit in the second one. D8 me.
D8. 6.
Okay, you see Agrias. He misses with the first one. Actually, he hits it with the flat, but doesn't do too much. But when he comes back with the counter on it, it takes the head clean off of it. It just kind of drops into the water. The head kind of just sinks to the bottom. The whole area here is this stew right now of gore and blood that's churning from all this wild action going on. There's only 2 left, and we're going to get some targets.
All right.
1 to 2 is you. 3 to 4 is you. 5 to 6 is Lily. 2, so it's Agrias. And 5, that's Lily. First one is a miss. And the second one is a hit on Lily. Nothing. Okay, it reaches down and smacks the water where she is, but because it's using a tentacle to hit her, the water blunts most of the trauma, and it barely grazes her. You just hear her yelp underneath the water, but now she's over by the side of you. Rainmar, your turn. 2 left.
Oh, there's 2 left? Damn, okay.
And one of them, and they're both front row now?
Yep, they're both front row.
So they're too close for the bow.
Yes.
But
But you could punch, kick, friggin' do whatever the hell you want to.
Take your guitar.
Yeah, you can smash them with a guitar. You can do whatever you want.
no, I'm gonna swing. I'm gonna do a sword.
Okay.
I'll use the sword that Agrias gave me. I'll draw that thing.
Okay.
Cut once.
You see, Raymar kind of tosses his bow aside, grabs a sword, pulls it out, gets ready to defend himself. Elin, finally, because you guys get angle, now can use her sling. Fires from above and misses. Okay, Lily has her sword out, and she's going to attack one of them. And Lily misses that time. Beginning of the new round. Agrias, your turn.
I'm going to swing at the one that's closest to me.
Okay, it's shambling towards you. This one has these horrible hooks at the end of its appendages, almost like ice picks at the end of it, and they're kind of swinging it around. 220s, or 120, excuse me.
Can I do 2 or no?
Just 1.
Just 1.
Yeah, you're only 1 attack this round.
Oh, shit. 3.
Okay, you miss. Agrias comes over, misses over its head. It is going to attack him back. And that's a hit. Ooh, Agrias. It takes its ice pick, and Raymar, you see it. It comes straight in over his shoulder and drives directly down through the collarbone into the arm. Agrias just shrieks out in pain. Blood is gushing down. Your arm is completely useless, your left arm right now. Take 4. You should be you're probably almost dead at this point.
Yeah. Let's see, take
You have 1 hit point left.
Fuck.
Oh my god. Yeah, Agrias, you can feel your vision starting to tighten up a little bit. You're going lightheaded from loss of blood. It's getting a little bit dark right now. The other one, meanwhile, is going to attack.
Scream Furry Lynn.
You scream for a Lynn. It's attacking you, Rainmar.
Fuck out of her.
It lashes out and it misses. Smacks up against the wall with a tentacle shot. It would be now your turn, Raymar.
That's a 19.
Oh, nice. Raymar takes his sword, counterattacks it. As it swings up against the tentacle lash against him, you see the sword come through and it actually cuts the tentacle in half. And that's why it slaps against the ground, the wall. The blood, it starts fountaining back and forth through the appendage as it's flailing in the air. The whole thing kind of just drops into the water. That's a dead. Meanwhile, Lily jumps in front of you, Agrias. She goes, get away from him! And she takes her sword and starts just flailing with it wildly. She's flailing with it wildly, and she hits it, but it doesn't do anything. She just is no technique at all. She just hits it, and it just kind of almost gets ready to run her over. Elin from the top fires a sling and hits it and caves its skull in with a sling bullet. Just, it's like a bolt of lightning from above. Just when she lashes it down, hits it, and you can see the whole skull just distend out for a second as it just like just explodes half of the skull out and it drops in the water. The whole area now is dead silent except for the crackling of the flame from the white pitch, the smell of burning flesh and gore, the sounds of your own breathing, the splashing around from Lily still swinging her sword wildly. But everything else is calm right now. What are you guys going to do?
I yell to Herrick, I need help.
I'm coming down, boss.
Well, am I strong enough to lift him
Yes, you're strong enough to lift him in one arm.
and take the ladder?
Yes, you can take the ladder. It's going to be tough, but you can do it.
Yeah, I'm going to take him up.
I'll guard the bottom here.
Lily, you're coming up. Start going up the ladder.
Okay. She runs up the ladder first. She keeps looking down. She's like, Mr. Agrias is hurt really bad, Lynn. You're going to have to help him. As soon as he gets up here.
Perfect.
Okay. Rainmar, you grab him. You grab your bow, kind of put it back over your shoulder, start pulling him up, and you get him up onto the second floor. Oh my God, boss. You see, Eric, you're a fucking mess. He starts looking at your shoulder. Get away from him. I've got him. Pulls back your robe. Lynn starts working on your shoulder. Oh, this is
thank God.
bad. This is bad. Part of the spine's still in here. This is gonna hurt really bad. She starts.
Get it out.
She starts pulling out some of her potions. There's only a little bit left. We're gonna have to use the last of it. She starts giving you some of the honey potion, the beer again.
Okay.
You drink it down.
I'm chugging.
Yeah, you drunk it.
And give me some of that rum.
Yeah. She's like, this is a. She goes, this is a pre-role reversal. I remember when you didn't want to try any of this. Rainmar, what you see is as he's laying there and he drinks it, out of his chest, this little swarm of bees, translucent golden bees, pops out. It flies over his shoulder. They all kind of congregate there for a second, and you see them all start to pull the spine out of his shoulder. All of them flying. The thing is a good 6 inches long, and they pull it out of his shoulder. They fly back, and they start all buzzing around there. They're making a little honeycomb on his shoulder, actually kind of patching it up. You're starting to feel okay again a little bit. Give yourself back 4 hit points.
Awesome, thank you.
And you're laying there on the thing. Herrick looking down. You gonna make it, boss?
I'll be alright, brother. I'll be okay.
Lynn looks over. She looks at you, Rainmar. She goes, "Look at your chest. You're not in that much better shape."
Yeah, but chicks dig scars.
She rolls her eyes. She goes, "Not all of us. Some of us like you pristine and healthy. Come here."
His first mate will.
She goes, "Yeah, well, some of us aren't sluts either." She goes, "Lean over against the wall." She goes,
Okay.
"Frigging sailing harlot that she is." She starts pulling out her mistletoe and things. She's patching you up with, like she's putting moss on it, kind of stitching up. She goes, "You know, you probably caught some kind of disease from her." She's stitching you up.
I think she's jealous.
I'm putting a collection together.
She's like, "You probably caught something kind of disease from her I can't cure. It's probably not even natural. Probably caught it some kind of sailing whore disease." Nailing it up, patching it up. She goes, "You should stay away from her, you know."
Yeah. The trick is keeping her away from me.
"Well, if you want that, I'll keep her away from you."
I think she got a taste of something she liked.
She rolls her eyes. "I think she would have liked anything from anybody."
Yeah, but I had the free time.
I mean, did you see her? She's walking around there with her little hoop skirt and her little parasol, and she's like, "Oh, look at me, I'm so wonderful."
Actually, when I saw
Throwing
her,
her
she
ass
wasn't.
all over the place. She rolls her eyes. She goes, she's like, she's nothing but a floating tart is what she is.
Lynn, are you jealous of the cat?
"I am not jealous of the captain." She stops and looks at you and goes back down and starts working at him.
She's gonna be covered in bees.
Sailing whore. So,
Okay, I call
boss,
Herrick over.
Herrick comes over. "Boss, what do you want to do about this?" Goes, "Kind of bit off a little more we could chew down there, it looks like."
Well, I think we killed them all, and there's no way to come back up. So just reel that ladder back up. And
Yeah. They were pretty small.
Yeah, thankfully.
If it was us, if it was a gnome, she said, we'd all make a pyramid and climb up to the top. She looks
Not
back.
all gnomes, Lily.
Yeah, but they could stack the bodies up and use it like a ladder.
Ah.
Excuse me, are we quitting? Are we going back up topside?
You're quitting, I know that. Lynn says, pointing at you. She goes, "Look at you both. You're a bloody mess. You both need some bed rest. What we need to do is we need to go upstairs, we need to memorize spells again, and we need to attack this again smart."
Will those hero potions help?
She rolls her eyes. She goes, "They'll help temporarily, but they're just... I mean, it's like drinking liquor to kill the pain. I mean, I'm not going to be able to stop you, am I?"
Well, we can go topside, sleep, come back down first thing tomorrow.
Will that make you happy, Lynn?
That would make me more than happy, yes.
Okay.
She goes, "Somebody's got to keep you boys out of trouble.
And you're doing a fine job.
And you're sleeping in a carriage tonight." She points at you, Rainmar. She goes, "No exertion. That stitching I just did over there, that sailing turtle will rip it right out of you."
I'm gonna need somebody to care for me overnight, though.
"I'll care for you overnight then."
Okay, yeah, we can share the carriage.
Oh my God. Okay, I call Herrick over.
Herrick comes over.
I say, all right, man, look, I need you to white pitch the barricade that the laborers built, and then once we get topside, I want you to booby trap the ladder.
"All right. Before or after the workers come up?" He kind of smirks.
After the workers come out.
Yes?
He kind of laughs a little bit. "Yeah, I figured. Just pulling your chain, boss."
All right, well, first I need you to carry me up that ladder, man.
"Yeah," he goes, "I'll help you." He goes, "Come on with me." He goes, "Good thing you're light, you elves." He goes, "You want some help up there too, Rainmar?"
Help with what?
"Getting you up the ladder. I've got him. Don't worry about him."
No, we'll be just fine there, Herrick. Why don't you look after our elven friend?
You're gonna get down the corridor, aren't you?
What?
Right in front of Lily.
What? No.
Lily looks over
Lily,
at
you're
you.
coming up with me.
She goes, I'll go up first. I'll check for traps on the way up.
Okay, perfect.
It's a ladder you guys went down here on.
Completely unnecessary.
She goes up, climbs up the ladder, pops up. When he comes up, it's probably about 7 or 8 o'clock at night, you figure. She pops herself up. She looks around. The camp people are just kind of meandering around. You see some of the sailors from the Minaret Shawl walking around. A few more of the laborers are messing around out with the palisade fence. You see Calissa and Trotty over there sitting at the fire, working, reading at her manual. She sees you pop out of the hole. She kind of squints her eyes, fixes her glasses, walks over at you. You're hurt. She comes running over. What happened down there?
Don't make a scene, but we have a lot to discuss.
And that's where we're going to end the session for the evening.
Okay. All right.
Well done, gentlemen. You guys survived your first big, massive encounter by yourselves, and you didn't incur huge mass casualties, Brixton, when you watch this later.
Yeah, that went okay.
It went okay. It went okay. You almost lost your leader. Good thing you guys had a Lynn down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
the problem
thing
is,
about
Alyn is out of her healing potions now, and remember, she can't cast Cure Light Wounds until she's 2nd level.
Yeah, the thing about 1E that I'm discovering is that no matter how well you play, one die roll can change the whole topography.
It sure could, and it changed the whole topography in your favor a couple times.
Right.
Because, for example, when Lily jumped down there, I rolled a 20.
Yeah.
And she just jumped down there and started stabbing that one. If that one would have been able to attack that round, it might have been the end for Agrias. Or it could have been the end for you just as easily, really.
Sure.
And Agrias using his all-around sight, that helped. And Grainmar, when you used the 2 arrows, that whole fusillade that you released at the beginning, if it's not for that, like you said, one die roll can really change at low levels the whole complexion of the game.
Yeah.
So, all right, everybody that's out there on Twitch, thanks for tuning in to our special episode tonight. You almost got to see our 2 lead characters die tonight, but they rallied and they managed to survive. And when you come back here 2 weeks from now, you'll get to see exactly the denouement of what's going on with that. And you'll also get to see what's happening down the river with the rest of the group. For Jeremy and for Patrick, I'm Carlos, our DM, and I'll be signing off for the evening. Guys, stick around for a little bit, and we'll do some performa, and then we'll be off. Good night.
All right.